My name is Claire. I'm 27, I live alone in a small apartment, and a stranger decided he should be the one who gets called when I'm dying. Not my family, not my friends, him. 6 months ago, I had a car accident. It wasn't dramatic, no explosions, no slow motion flip. I hit black ice on a bend, slid sideways, and woke up in a bright room with a neck brace and a ringing in my ears. I remember flashes, cold scissors cutting my shirt, someone asking me my name, a warm hand on my shoulder, a man's voice close to my ear, "You're okay. I've got you. Just stay with me, all right?" I tried to read his name badge. My vision kept sliding off the letters. Then there were painkillers, then nothing. After the accident, everyone told me the same thing. You were lucky. You should set up all those new safety features on your phone. There's this modern thing now. You can put your medical info in your phone, and it links to the hospitals and emergency services. If something happens, they can see your allergies, your medication, who to call. So, one evening, I sat on my couch and did the grown-up thing. I filled in my blood type, my medication, my sister Hannah as my emergency contact. The phone showed a neat little list, emergency profile shared with local hospitals. At the bottom, there was a suggestion. Recommended contact, Evan Mobile, emergency care staff, based on prior treatment. I frowned. I don't know anyone named Evan. I tapped it by accident, and it lit up red. Emergency contact added. Okay, no, I muttered, and deleted him. The phone asked, politely, "Remove Evan from your emergency contacts?" Yes, remove. He disappeared. Out of curiosity, I locked the screen, pressed the emergency button, and looked at the list. Hannah, and under her, Evan Mobile. Back again. I'm not stupid. I know technology glitches, so I did the normal thing. I argued with my phone like it was a person. Delete, confirm, gone. Check again. Back. I powered the phone off, turned it on. He was still there. I told myself it was some kind of sync issue. The hospital had my number from the accident. Maybe their system and my phone were helpfully talking to each other. It was weird, but not terrifying. Not yet. I decided to ignore it and deal with it another day. That night, I put the phone on my nightstand and went to bed. At 3:14 in the morning, it rang. Unknown number. Local area code. Name on the screen, Evan Mobile. Emergency contact. I lay there, staring at it as it buzzed. Every sensible part of me said, "Don't pick up." I picked up. Hello? A man's voice, warm and calm. Hi, is this Claire Thomas? Yes. Good. I'm sorry, it's late. My name is Evan. We met a few months ago, after your accident on the highway. You probably don't remember, you were pretty out of it. That voice, that calm tone, the warm hand on my shoulder flashed back into my mind. You were in the emergency room? I asked. I was your nurse, he said. I stayed with you most of the night. You kept asking if you were going to die. He gave a small laugh. You weren't. Embarrassment burned in my chest. I had no memory of that, but it sounded like something I would do. How did you get my number? I asked. You gave it to me, he said, like it was obvious. We set up your emergency profile on your phone before you were discharged. You agreed to list me as an emergency contact. It's part of a follow-up program we're testing. One staff member linked to each high-risk patient so the system can route alerts faster. High risk? I repeated. Single, recent head trauma, lives alone, he said smoothly. It's just a flag, nothing to panic about. I just wanted to check the number was still correct. The system said it had been updated. Something cold moved under my ribs. I don't remember agreeing to that, I said. You'd hit your head, he said gently. It's normal not to remember every conversation. You did unlock your phone and press accept, though. I can send you a copy of the consent form if you want. I stayed quiet. Claire, he added, voice softening, I'm not trying to scare you. This is supposed to make you safer. If you're ever in trouble again and emergency services can't reach your family, they can reach me. I know your history. I can advocate for you. That's all. It sounded reasonable, clinical, official. I felt ridiculous for being freaked out by a man whose job was literally to save people. Okay, I said slowly. I just didn't expect to see your name on my phone. That's all. That's on the software, not you, he said light. It's a bit overeager. I'll let you sleep. I'll text you some links about concussion recovery, all right? Try to keep your phone charged at night. It helps a lot if something happens. I didn't like how that sounded, but I said, sure, because it was easier than arguing with a stranger who had seen me half naked and terrified on a hospital bed. Good, he said. I'm glad you're still with us, Claire. The line clicked. He did text. Links to articles about head injuries, a reminder to take my beta blocker exactly as prescribed, a note about how many accidents happen within 10 kilometers from home. He signed the messages with his name like we were old friends. N. Evan R. ER nurse. It was polite, professional, creepy, but in a way I could still explain away. He had access to my file. He had seen my medication list. He knew my address. All of that was technically allowed. What wasn't allowed was how often he used that access. A week later, I was stopped at a red light after work when a car slid into the lane next to me. Old silver sedan, hospital parking pass in the window. The driver glanced over. Brown eyes, familiar jawline, same calm smile. He rolled his window down and waved, like we bumped into each other at the supermarket. I kept mine closed. He raised his voice. Hey, Claire! Good to see you driving again. How's the rest? The light turned green. The car behind me honked. I drove. He followed for 1 block, then turned off down a side street. Maybe he lived near my route. Maybe he was just friendly. The first time I knew for sure he'd crossed a line was when I opened my mailbox and found a letter from the hospital. Not a bill, not a survey. A glossy brochure. Know your emergency contacts. Seconds save lives. Inside were smiling doctors and nurses and cheerful statistics. On the back, in big friendly letters, I treat my emergency contacts like family. Inside was a photo of him. That's when I felt something in me snap. I went back to the hospital. Not as a patient. I asked for a supervisor, held up the brochure, and kept my voice as steady as I could. I didn't sign up for any program. I don't want this man as my emergency contact. I don't want him calling me at 3 a.m. I don't want him following my alerts. Remove him from everything connected to me. The charge nurse looked at the brochure, sighed very quietly, and lowered her voice. You're not the first person to say that name to me. The floor seemed to tilt. So, you've had other complaints? I asked. I can't discuss other cases, she said carefully, but I can put a note on your file that you decline contact, and I can request an audit of who's accessed your record. She clicked through the system while I watched. Her mouth tightened. She's opened your file 19 times in the last 6 weeks. Most of those were not during your admission and not on your follow-up days. 19? I repeated. My voice came out thinner than I wanted. Including twice, very late at night, she added. I'm filing this, officially. If you feel unsafe, you should also speak to the police. Is he on duty today? I asked. She hesitated. He's been encouraged to take leave,
That's all I can say. She let me watch as she removed his name from the hospital's internal emergency contact field from my profile. There, she said, you are no longer assigned to him in our system. It helped. A little. On the way home, my hands still shook on the steering wheel. That night, I was brushing my teeth when my phone buzzed. A notification slid down over the top of the screen. Emergency alert activated. Your location has been shared with your emergency contacts. My stomach dropped. I hadn't pressed anything. I grabbed the phone. A recent alert screen was already open. Alert sent to Hannah, mobile, Evan, mobile. I had removed him. The hospital had removed him. The system hadn't. Hannah called first.
Are you okay? I just got a message saying your phone triggered some emergency thing. I'm fine, I said. It must be a bug. A second call came in while we were still talking. I stared at the screen. Evan, mobile. I didn't answer. He left a voicemail. His voice was as calm as ever. Claire, I just received an alert from your phone. I'm worried. I know you asked to be taken out of the program. I saw the note. But these systems take time to update, and in the meantime, they still route to whoever knows your history best. A pause. Please don't ignore calls if something is wrong. I've seen people think they're fine after a head injury and then collapse. Call me back. He sounded almost hurt, like I was the one being unreasonable. I deleted the message. I turned off every emergency feature I could find. I powered the phone down. 3 nights later, I woke up to the sound of my front door unlocking. You know how your own locks sound? That tiny scrape of metal, that soft clunk? I know that sound. I lay in the dark, holding my breath, listening to someone ease my door open very slowly, very carefully. Light from the hallway stretched under my bedroom door. My phone was off, a dead piece of glass on the nightstand. I slid out of bed, grabbed the heaviest thing within reach, a glass jewelry box, and crept toward the far corner. The floorboard outside my room creaked. The handle turned just a fraction. My heart hammered so loudly I felt it in my teeth. At that exact moment, my dead phone vibrated once and lit up on the table by itself. The screen came to life with a bright white glow. Across the top, a banner appeared. Emergency alert activated. Location shared with Evan, mobile. The handle froze. Whoever was on the other side of the door had just seen the light I had. I did the only thing I could think of. I screamed, loud, high, raw. The handle jerked back, footsteps stumbled away, faster now. The front door slammed hard. Neighbors thumped on the wall. Someone shouted my name through the door. The police found no signs of forced entry. No damage to the lock, one officer said. Could have been someone with a key. Are you sure you locked it properly? I showed them the audit from the hospital, the access log, the emergency alerts, the brochure. He says he was at home. He showed us his shift schedule. He also said he's concerned about your anxiety and that you might be misinterpreting his professional concern. Did you check the cameras in my building? We did, he admitted. The footage is grainy, but around the time you called, there's a man in a dark jacket and what looks like hospital scrubs under it, coming in and out. Height and build are similar. We can't prove it's him from this alone. So, officially, he was innocent. Unofficially, the hospital suspended him. The police kept an eye on it. Everyone used careful words. Boundary issues, miscommunication, different expectations. No one used the word I was thinking. I moved apartments. I changed my number. I stopped using the emergency features on my phone. Friends told me I was overreacting.
The whole point of the new system is to save you. You're letting one bad experience ruin something good. Maybe they're right. Maybe I am paranoid now. Maybe in another world there's a version of me who kept Evan in her contacts, who believes that if she collapses in the street some night, he'll be the reason she makes it. Maybe. Last month, I was at a friend's place helping her set up her own safety profile on her new phone. She's got a heart condition, her doctor insisted. We filled in her information, the app linked to her local clinics. At the end, a little message popped up. Suggested emergency partner based on your area. Emergency nurse on call.com. E-Rand. My friend laughed. That's kind of reassuring, actually, like having a guardian angel on call. She hovered her finger over the accept button. I watched his name glowing on her screen, offered to her by a system that doesn't know the difference between a guardian angel and a man who likes his patients a little too much. Don't, I said. She looked at me. Why? Do you know him? I opened my mouth to say no. Technically, I barely do. I know his first name. I know the sound of his voice at 3 in the morning. I know he's very good at sounding reasonable while bending every rule just a little. I know that when I close my eyes at night and hear my door creak in my head, it's his face I see on the other side. So I told her the truth. Yes, I said. I know him. Choose someone else. She frowned, confused, but picked her sister instead. The system didn't care. It will offer his name to someone else next time, in some other apartment, in some other quiet living room. Maybe that person won't be paranoid. Maybe they'll be grateful. Maybe nothing bad will ever happen to them. Or maybe one night their phone will light up by itself and a calm voice will say, "Hi, you don't remember me, but I've been watching over you." And they'll have to decide in that moment whether the thing designed to save their life just opened the door for the person who might end it.